Hello, my sweeties, and welcome back to my channel. If you don't already know me, my name is Celise, and thank you for joining my spooky little family. In today's video, we will be talking about LongLegs. Let's get into the video.
Yo, spooky!
Hello.
What's up? How are you? How was your vacation?
It was great.
You guys were away for a long while. Me and Lev had a good time here. You know, I was cooking, as you guys all know.
You were cooking it up.
I was chefing it up.
Thanks for making time to do a FaceTime review with me.
Of course, you know, I'm all about the content.
Aren't you?
Yeah.
You're everyone's favorite butler.
I'm probably everyone's only butler that they know, to be fair. Anyway, look, we saw Maxine in separate theaters, and we also saw the movie that we're talking about today in different theaters. But luckily, we're together to review it. But for the people at home, what is this one about?
Written and directed by Osgood Perkins, starring Micah Monroe, Nicolas Cage, Alicia Witt, and Blair Underwood, LongLegs follows an FBI agent who uncovers a series of occult clues while hunting down a serial killer that she must solve to end his terrifying killing spree. And that is all we are going to say. The film has been out since Friday, and LongLegs was probably my most anticipated horror film of the year, given the really great marketing that they did. Love the marketing team. They had a phone number you could call, which was really fun. You got to hear Nicolas Cage's voice, which I didn't actually realize that was his voice until the movie, because they cleverly also hid him in all the trailers and all of the pictures and on the poster. They really did a great job.
Great in quotations, in my opinion. I mean, they did have that absolutely hack stories from the set and just all of that overhyping, which I found extremely obnoxious.
We have to talk about that too. So before we get into the review itself, we do need to talk about the issue with overhyping movies.
It's kind of a shame because it's like you can't talk about the movie without talking about the marketing.
Yeah, and the thing for me is their marketing was fun.
Yeah, the multimedia stuff was awesome, like the phone number and shit you were
Yeah,
saying.
very clever. I love that. Love the little hidden clues and stuff. Love the phone number. Love all of that. We started getting a little wild when we're like, oh my god, look at this clip of Micah Monroe's heartbeat. And like she was so scared of Nicolas Cage, and then also like early audiences were saying that he was so terrifying, and everybody's like, oh my god, after seeing this movie, I feel like I've been cursed. Oh my god, the devil's following me home tonight. And that's fine. If you want to review the movie like that, okay. But I do think that it has this like bad effect later, because I feel like I've been hearing a lot of mixed reviews with this film specifically, and I'm seeing like a trend of people saying that they were underwhelmed. And I think that they were underwhelmed because you kind of can't really call something the scariest movie of the year, because what's scary to me and what's scary to you are two completely different things. What's scary to somebody is so subjective. So what might terrify me may not terrify Cornelius. So how could it really be the most terrifying movie? I was told I would be crying, shitting, screaming, everything when I would see Nicolas Cage. And before getting deeper into this, I quite enjoyed this film.
Same.
I quite enjoyed this film.
Personally, there's nothing scary to me about Nicolas Cage looking like one of the cast members of Botched. Like, I completely did not find him visually to be scary. He was scary because he's a great performer and it was a creepy role. But they were just completely glazing this whole movie and the terrifying nature of the movie. And like you said, not only do you go into it, I mean, even like me, who I really was not expecting anything, because I gotta tell you the truth, I kept forgetting what the hell movie this was. Spooky had to keep reminding me it was the one with Micah Monroe. And I was like, oh, yeah, that girl.
I love Micah Monroe.
She's
love
amazing.
Micah Monroe since I first saw It Follows. I'm the biggest stan.
She's amazing. She's beautiful. A little young for me, though. You know what they say? Half your age plus 700.
Let's move on.
Anyway, so it's just... I went into this with really no expectations. And even me, like, I was just had that in my head, like, from the marketing. Of like, this was going to be the scariest movie ever. And I knew it was bullshit. And I hate myself for this. I knew it was bullshit. And I still went in with expectations. You can't help yourself. You just can't. It's so annoying.
That's the issue with saying it's the scariest movie of the year.
Stop! And it was a scary movie.
It was. But not for reasons that a lot of people... would think. Like,
yes, exactly.
People are probably thinking jump scares. This
Creepy.
is not that kind of movie.
Yeah, no, it's scary creature monster thing that Nicolas Cage is playing.
It's a crime, thriller, psychological. It's not like, well, it's horror, but it's not a jump in your face type of scary. This film specifically is one of those that kind of creep up on you. It's more an environment thing. It's more like feeling claustrophobic in the environment and the sense of dread, which is like very, very apparent in the very first shot of the movie, let's talk about that. Now we'll get right into the movie. So the opening scene, and I'm not going to spoil anything because I know a lot of people cannot see films on opening night, and I do not want to spoil LongLegs for you. The opening shot, I will say, is very, very, to me, disturbing. I don't know what the fuck was going on in the opening shot, but it made me very uncomfortable. And they do such a great job at kind of like faking you out. Like they make you think you're gonna see LongLegs right away, and you don't. Which I love that. They kind of kept like cutting right before you could see his face. So I thought that was really smart. Now, this movie was a lot different than what I expected. And I think that goes right into everybody saying that it was like the scariest thing ever. This one is definitely on the slower side.
100%. This is a slow burn. Not necessarily boring. I want to make that distinction because I think a lot of people, especially normies,
coming for you,
hear slow burn and they go, I don't like any of that indie A24 shit.
For sure. I think also another thing that was interesting when going into the movie, there was a lot of comparisons early on to Silence of the Lambs. So I decided to rewatch Silence of the Lambs before watching this movie, which I would recommend if you haven't seen LongLegs yet. I think you should watch Silence of the Lambs before. I did notice a lot of cool shots that seem to be like paying homage, but I will say that LongLegs is kind of not really like Silence of the Lambs outside of similar shots and the fact that these are two women agents.
And that they're definitely both lesbians.
And they both have trauma. And they're both a little awkward. Gotta
love really hot, off-putting women. You know, that's a whole genre in and of itself.
This is true.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can get away from the Silence of the Lambs allegations with this one. It's definitely inspired, but there's definitely the DNA of Silence of the Lambs definitely in this movie.
There is. There's also a little bit of these other films that Osgood mentioned when he said that he had some inspiration from films like Zodiac and Seven. And I can see all of that in this movie. So Since I'm kind of having to dance around what this movie is about, because I don't want to spoil it for you guys, let's talk about our performances, because that is really what's going to grip you when it comes to this film. So obviously, we're going to first talk about Micah Monroe. I have no notes. I never have notes. She's amazing. She carries. Like, her back must be hurting.
100%. I mean, Micah Monroe is just so intimate, and she really grounds the movie and kind of helps move along the slow pace of the film.
She does. And now we're going to talk about Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
I'm a big Nicolas Cage fan. Also, while we talk about Nicolas Cage, I want to say a little fun fact that I thought was really cute. I heard in an interview with Nicolas Cage that he was very, very excited to meet Micah Monroe because he had been apparently like following her work since It Follows, and he mentioned that he like really respected her, and he said that he never sees her acting. Everything is just so natural, and she has like a childlike quality, and I thought that that was just so cute and sweet. And like any actor to get that from Nicolas Cage, that's crazy. I love that. And she also was very excited to work with him. And if you don't know for some reason, but I'm sure you do because everybody's been talking about this movie all over the internet, they did not see each other at all on set until that scene of them, which they only share one scene in the film. And that was the first time they saw each other, and they just started shooting, and that was Micah's initial real reaction to seeing LongLegs, which I thought was great. It's a great scene. It's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. I also have no notes for Nicolas Cage. He's amazing. I've also never seen him play something like this either, and he's played pretty crazy roles. I'm all on board for Nicolas Cage in all these weird, crazy horror movies. He's been killing it. Color Out of Space, Mandy. He's just doing so many fun little things. He's like really living his life. So that's really all I have to say about performances. Now that we kind of have to dance around the movie.
I know, this is hard. This one's tough.
It's tough to dance around.
You really got to go in blind. Honestly,
you do.
If you were cracked out of an egg the day before you wanted to watch this movie, that would be like the best way to experience this movie, because anything you learn about it is going to just kind of kill it for you in a way, and we're going to kind of get to that. So, look, I'm going to say it right out. I love this one. I really enjoyed this one. It's a great movie. You should definitely go see it.
This is a great movie.
But I would be lying to the people. I would be lying to our people, our fans.
The spooky little fam.
I would be lying to the fam if I didn't say that I was and still am conflicted after seeing this movie. I actually changed my rating.
Oh, wow.
When I first got out of it, I was feeling really gross. Spooky, you said the same.
Yeah. The movie, to be honest, when it started, I was like, okay, I'm really like nervous that I'm gonna get scared. Then when we finally see Nicolas Cage and stuff, I was totally okay. I'm someone that it takes a lot to scare me, but I didn't realize that for the majority of the movie, I was really holding my breath.
Yes.
And I think it's because of the whole environment of the movie, like the atmosphere, it just is very claustrophobic. And then with a certain character, I was like, I'm not going to say who, because it's spoilers, but a certain character to me was scarier than LongLegs.
Yeah, 100%.
For personal reasons. But yeah, when I got out of the theater, went to the bathroom, I did have to do a couple deep breaths. I just felt like it was a lot. And it was very icky and felt like you just needed to shake it off, like immediately.
Now, here's where my negatives come in.
Okay. Here's the negatives.
And this is tough because I feel like I'm nitpicking because, again, I loved it. But I can't not think about it, so I feel like I'm not nitpicking.
Okay.
This movie kind of feels a little underdeveloped. And now you're going to go, what? What do you mean? It's such an intricate story. There's so many layers, and it's such a well-made thriller, you know? But it feels, I don't want to say rushed per se, but it feels so blah. And in some ways I feel it's effective, but the more I think about it, we really didn't know what the hell was going on in this, and we thought it would be better to leave it off vague, but not in a way that kind of really allows the audience to think about it, just because we didn't know what the hell to do, and we thought it would seem more intellectual if we left it off, super vague. There are definitely some questions and plot lines that are raised throughout the film that either kind of have half-ass answers or they just kind of not answered at all. I think this is one, though, that you do have to watch more than once, unfortunately.
I think that's also true. I initially came out of this film saying that it was a 5 for me, and then the next day I was thinking about it, and I had a lot of questions. A lot of things seemed really confusing to me. So I do think that this film definitely needs a second watch. There's a lot of things going on, and then the third act kind of flies like really, really quickly.
The second act is super dense, though. So it might be one of those things of like, it's just so much shit going on that you kind of get lost in it the first time.
Yeah, I think so.
But I feel like I was paying attention hard during this. Because even the first 20 minutes, you know what kind of movie you're getting yourself into. You're like, oh, fuck, I got to start paying attention. I got to be actively watching this movie.
That's true. Also, I was pretty gagged. The theater we went to was pretty full. It was the most silent theater. I haven't seen a movie where everybody was just silent in so long.
Okay, look. Here's the thing. And I'm going to say this, and this is probably going to be the last thing I say, honestly, is like a negative. This is a movie called LongLegs. That is not about LongLegs. And that's not really a spoiler.
Yeah.
It kind of purposely feels like a bait and switch, the whole movie. But then there's like a whole extra movie at the end, and it kind of feels a little underwhelming.
I can definitely understand that.
Everything before that, in my opinion, is like chef's kiss. I was enthralled.
I can see why you take issue with those things. Other than a couple things being unanswered, I don't think I take too much issue with the movie itself. I originally was going to give it a 5, and then I changed my rating. But I do think that can also change upon a rewatch.
Agreed. Well, I guess that's a great segue. What are you giving this one?
I think that this film feels a lot to me like a fever dream, something kind of personal, something that scares me with one specific character. I am going to be giving LongLegs 4 levs out of 5.
Wow.
I changed it because there's a lot of things that are confusing and unanswered. Maybe on purpose. I don't know. But I definitely need to rewatch this one to see if it's for sure a 5-star.
This keeps happening, and I know, because I changed my rating before you changed your rating, that this is just completely coincidental. But I'm giving this one 4 levs out of 5.
Oh.
Yes. I just feel that I walked out of it thinking, wow, that was kind of a perfect movie in what it was trying to do, at least. I don't know if I would change anything. And the more I sat with it, the more I completely disagree. I 100% think that there is something about it that feels underdeveloped. I can't really put my finger on what, outside of the little things I said. So I'm going to go with a 4. It's still a great movie, and I think you should go see it. Go see it in the theaters. You're going to feel disgusting after.
You should definitely go see it in the theaters and be prepared. Bring some water. This is a heavy movie. Heavy, heavy, heavy on the trauma, heavy on the dread. That's how I like them. And it's got a fun little ending too, doesn't it?
Not really. It's kind of really depressing.
It's very depressing. The last line, though, kind of fun, isn't it?
No.
I think
still not.
so.
I don't think there's anything fun about this
I
movie.
think so, and the movie made me feel like shit for the next couple hours, but just let me know what you think of that last line if you've seen the movie. You guys know. Alright, you guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps me a lot. And be sure to click that little notification bell to be up to date every single time I upload. And let me know in the comments if you plan on seeing Longlegs. Did you see it? I would like to know what you thought. If you plan on putting spoilers, please label your comment spoilers ahead so that other people that haven't seen it yet do not get spoiled. And please stop sharing pictures of Nicolas Cage in Longlegs on Twitter already. Let people see the movie. Okay, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.